Hey Cam fam, welcome back and welcome to Keeping Up with Cam. As you can see here, we have a winner. So with 46% of the vote, we are going to be showing you a in-depth video on how to braid. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning into our channel. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning subby, thank you so much for coming back. So we are going to be showing you a couple tips and tricks in terms of braiding, how to hold your fingers and things like that, just so you are comfortable. So I've gone ahead and I've had a medium part and I've broken it into two, so I have a smaller section to show you guys at first. So I am doing this on like freshly blow dried hair just before I do his hair for school, so there's no product, but please add product, okay? So I'm going in and I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are the sections that we're gonna be working with at all times. 4th is just the hair that we're picking up, but you work with 1, 2, and 3, okay? So as you can see, this is how I'm holding the hair. Everybody does it differently, but this is how I hold the hair when I braid. So I have number 3 in between my middle and ring finger, as you can see. And then my thumb is also holding it, and then I have my index finger, and that's what we're going to be moving with. So now I'm going underneath 2 and I'm grabbing 1, so we're moving into the left direction. And now I have 2 and I'm going to bring it to the left, and it's going to go underneath that new 2, and we're going to go pick up 3. It's always about going underneath 2 and picking up the other side. So we're going to go from 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, right? And as we start doing this, we're going to start picking up pieces from the 4th section. So you see we now have that 2, we have that 3, we're going underneath the 2, we're picking up the 1, grabbing a little bit of 4. You see that there? And now we have a new 1 on that side, right? So then I'm going to take that 1, I'm going to go underneath the middle section, which is 2, and I'm going to grab 3. We're going to use our index finger to guide us. That's what we always use. We're always using our index finger on whichever hand that we're using, going underneath and grabbing. You're going to hold the hair with the ring finger, middle finger, and thumb to kind of give it a little bit of a hold, but we're always guiding and pulling through with our middle finger. And as we continue along, we're going to be picking up hair. You see here that I have some hair that I just scooped up from number 4. So we're going to use our thumb and our index finger to scoop up some hair as we go underneath and to get to the next side. So as I go slowly, it's going to look a little bit weird because I'm slowing it down so you guys can see the basics of what I'm doing, but this is what we do the whole way. When you start off at the front, you're not going to do too much, you're not going to take too much hair because you don't want to make the braid too thick to begin with. So it's just going to be little pieces that you bring in, little pieces. But as you can see, we hold it, grip it, and we take our middle finger, we take our index finger and we go underneath and grab on the opposite side. So now we're at 3 under 2 over to 1, 1 under 2 over to 3. All right, so I'm going to show you guys again with my pieces 1, 2, and 3 how it looks when I'm just doing it without stopping to show you step by step. So this is what it will look like once you have the rhythm of it. This is what it's going to look like. You see how I'm starting with very small pieces at the front there because we don't want to start the braid too chunky, too thick. So I'm going in with small pieces. I always say that I'm like staying on my tiptoes. Like I feel like my fingers I'm just using just the tip. I'm just very up, and just the tip of my index finger is getting the hair as I go through and just adding it in. My thumb is scooping as I go and bringing it to that index finger, and I'm just adding it in as I go underneath the next piece. Little pieces, and we just go in. This is what I would do with a smaller sized braid, a thinner braid. When you have a thicker braid, there is a bit of a difference. Kind of need to hold your hands a little bit differently. You got to get a lot more hair in one place and keep it neat. So this is the technique that I use for a smaller size braid, but I will show you how I go in with a bigger braid. Now I want to reiterate that this is being done on dry hair, no product. When you braid, you're going to be using product. I just didn't want to put anything in here yet because I have to do his hairstyle for back to school. So keep that in mind and make sure you add your gels. All right, so let's finish off the braid. If you already know what to do, this is just a refresher, and if you don't, let's get into it. So I'm gonna hold the hair with my thumb and my index finger, and I'm gonna use my middle finger to scoop the strand. So I'm going in starting on my right side with number 3, and I'm going to take my middle finger and get number 1. And then I'm going to take my middle finger and get number 3. We're not doing much with number 2, it's just 3 and 1, and that's how you underhand. This is how you do it overhand. So you're going to be holding the strands with your basically full fist. I have the strand underneath my middle, my ring, and my pinky, and I'm going to use my index finger to grab the hair. So I'm going to go, don't flip your hand over, make sure it's still knuckles down or knuckles up, and you're going to just grab that with your index. You see how that works? So, and then we switch our hand over when we're going to use the new one. Make sure it's not flipped over. See how you could have done that there? And you're just going to go in and grab number 1 with index finger on your right hand. And then we're going to go in index finger on the left, grab number 2. We are not going to make it any more difficult than it needs to be. You're just grabbing and grabbing. You're reshifting the hair into your hand as you go. So when you go quicker, it does look like, oh my gosh, it's going so fast. But it's just your reshifting the hair, and when you get lower down, you can just work with your fingertips instead of having it in the whole hand, and that's what it looks like for overhand. Okay, so going back in now, we're going to have our product again. If this is what you're working with, we are going to show you what it looks like to work with like a bigger sized portion. So this is like a medium, it's not too big. But once you've added the gel, you're going to make sure that you go in with the end of your rat tail comb and you're smoothing it through. That is how we mold the section, because we want all the hair to be in the same place. So you've added the gel and you're smoothing the hair into the middle, and that's what's going to make it easier and neater when you're working on a bigger sized section of hair. So again, we're working with our 1, 2, and 3, and 4 with the extra hair. And I've just gone in and I've worked in, you can work in a little like 1, 2 before you actually start grabbing hair. So I'm grabbing the hair and I'm going down, but I'm making sure that I'm getting hair from the side as I go. So I'm using my hand to just bring the hair in. It's the same technique as when we were doing the smaller sized, but you're going to add the hair in with your hand because you want to make sure that it's smooth and that it's being added in properly so that the hair looks the same all the way down. If not, it's going to be lumpy, it's going to be jagged, and it's not going to look good. So we're going in there and we're just grabbing hair. I'm grabbing more hair with my index finger as I go, but I'm also using my hand to add it in when I'm braiding. But now I've added in the grip. I'm gripping the hair as if like I'm doing the end of a braid, and that just helps me keep myself centered, helps me keep the braid neat. It's something that I personally do. Others may not, but for me it works really well. So you just grab the hair with the middle, the ring, and the pinky, keep it secure, and you go underneath number 2 to grab number 1, you go underneath number 2 to grab number 3, and you just continue that process. It's the exact same as working with the smaller section, except you have the hair gripped. You see how it's gripped in there, kind of like a gorilla grip? You're gripping it with your whole hand basically, and that keeps it secure, and you're just grabbing with the index finger, and that's getting the hair and it's continuing to keep it in. So as you can see, I'm going to show you again what that looks like, just a little fast motion, not really slowing it down to show the step-by-step. This is what it would look like if I was just normally braiding this section of hair. All right, so now when we're finishing off the braid, there's a little bit of a difference that we can see here because it is a thicker section. We want it to stay neat and we want it to look silky-ish. You know, we don't want to see like stray hairs or anything like that, right? So what I do is I twist the strand kind of like I'm doing a 2-strand twist, but I'm only doing it on the one side. So I put it underneath, so I'm going in and I'm grabbing it, right? So now I'm using number 3, so it's only number 3 that gets twisted. So we twist number 3 and we grab it with the middle finger on the right hand. Twist number 3, grab. Twist, and grab, and that's all we're doing. And you can see that it is so much flatter and it lays and just looks so much better than if you were to just braid it. Now this is what I do underhand. Overhand, I don't think it'll work as well. You can try, but this is how I do it underhand. Okay, so now for the next style. So I'm going to be showing you how to stitch braid. I'm going to give you a little bit of a easy overview of how to do it. I do want you to understand that this is very important to have gel when you're doing, because that's when you really see the dynamic and see the beauty of the stitch braid. You will still see it here without it, but it is important. So I'm going in and I'm braiding that front piece maybe 2 or 3 times before I actually start braiding on the scalp. So I'm going in with my pinky to take the hair. You can use these little pieces. They're parting tools, pinky parting fingers. You can find them at your local beauty supply. They're wherever, even on Amazon, if you need the extra help. But what you're going to do is you're going to take your pinky or your tool and you're just going to go in and section that hair off, just a little piece, but only to the middle, to where the braid is, just to the middle. And you're just going to grab it into your hand. So you're using the pinky, separating it, and then grabbing it with your index and thumb. See that? Grabbing it and then going back to the other side. Scooping, grabbing, and going back to the other side. And that's all that it is. Make sure that when you're separating that with your pinky, it's only to the middle of the braid and not all the way over. So you just go into the middle, give it to it right there. You go into the middle, pick it up. And as you can see, you see where those stitches are forming, and it would look so much neater, so much nicer, so much more stitchier when you have the gel. So it is possible to do the stitch braid to get that look without gel if that's, you know, how you're trying to have it. But typically the style does get done with gel. It just stays longer and looks nicer. Alrighty, so now that we have done our small part braid, we have done our medium sized braid, and we have done our stitch braid, we're at the end. So right now I'm just going to show you guys what I would do if I was just braiding this section straight back without really like slowing it down for tutorial or like pointers. This is just how it would look if I was braiding. I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. I hope I was able to give you some tips and tricks and everything to kind of just get braiding to be a little bit easier. If there is anything that I didn't answer, if you still have any questions, please let us know in the comment section, or you can find us on Instagram at keepingupwithkham, and feel free to DM me and I will answer everything for you there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs up if you did. Please make sure you share this video, save it so you can come back and watch it again. And if you would like, if it is helpful, you can slow this video down to 0.5 speed, and then you can kind of see a little bit slower what I'm doing if you needed to just pick up on anything in particular. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning into our channel. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being our subscribers. Thank you for coming and just seeing this thumbnail and saying, you know what, I want to watch it for the first time. I hope we helped you. I hope you found something useful from this video, and we will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.